purchase the Freedom edition of this gun, which is the closest stock gun you can get that's fully competition ready and right out of the box. And there'll still be some minor upgrades you'd probably want to do, but that's as close as you can get to a gun like this. This is the standard Stoeger M3K with upgrades done to it, but the Freedom edition, M3K Freedom edition, which is what I'm linking to, is a gun that you can purchase that's very close to this with the upgrades, and basically go straight to a match, a 3-gun match, if that's what you're buying it for. So here you can see Stoeger M3K, and you know, front to back, there it is. So let me talk a little bit first about the upgrades that I have done to this gun, and I will talk to them as they pertain to the gun that you could buy stock, both the standard M3K edition, which is this, and then the Freedom edition. That way you have an accurate you know, idea of what I did to this gun before I really even took it to a match. So I did buy this gun used, but it did have some upgrades to it. Mostly the main thing would be this extension tube. So the standard M3K just comes with a regular mag tube that's a 4+1. So this gun came with this MOA Precision 9+1 tube, which I believe is the longest extension tube you can get for this shotgun. So you can see how far out past the barrel, end of the barrel, this extension tube goes. So this gives this gun 13+1 rounds. The Freedom edition comes with a +6 tube already on it, giving it a total capacity of 10+1. So as I purchased this weapon, that was an upgrade over both the standard and the Freedom edition. Now, would you want to go to a match with a 4+1? If you're just starting out, you just got, you know, if there's a match, a local match nearby, sure, go, you know, go shoot the gun, get your, you know, what loads are going to work for you, figure it out, what the gun's going to run, you know, just get out to the match, or, you know, practice with it without the tube. But the tube is the one thing you're going to want to upgrade probably right away if you get the standard M3K. If you get the standard if you get the Freedom edition with the 10+1 total rounds, that's pretty much good to go. Some people want a little bit more than that. Some people want 12 rounds total, but 10+1 gives you enough firepower to compete. So that was the main upgrade to this gun as I bought it. So some of the other things I've done, the standard Stoeger, and this is both on the Freedom edition and the standard M3K, the stock sight is a pretty thick red fiber optic sight, and this gun I pretty quickly added. Mine was pretty dirty and needed a new piece of fiber optic in there, so I just went ahead and got this high vis competition shotgun front sight. That'll also be linked below, that you can get from Amazon relatively cheap, and I got the green one, and I've been really happy with this. So that's a quick, simple, there's just a couple of there's just one set screw there actually, right under my finger here, and that's a quick, easy upgrade, and it's far superior to the factory sight, and it's not very expensive. It's under $50. One of the other things that is done to this gun is I have replaced, and I don't know, maybe I'll do this a little later if I do a tear down of the gun, but I'll just I'll see if I can show it to you in here. If you can see the blue piece there, is the follower. So that's the piece that's under tension, and the magazine tube that pushes the next round into the receiver. And so that's the MOA Precision low drag follower. It's an aluminum follower. If you have an extended tube, so my gun did not come with that. It came with the extended tube, but did not come with the, from MOA Precision, but did not come with an upgraded follower. So if you have an extended magazine tube and you're still running a plastic factory follower, they're typically orange color, you're gonna have feeding problems, almost for sure. So when I got the gun, before I had shot it with this big tube, I was trying to practice my loading, and I was having all kinds of jamming problems with the spring and the follower, making it really hard to practice throwing loads into this gun. When I bought a couple other upgrades that I'll talk about, I picked up the follower just to see how that helped, and it was night and day. And MOA says right on their site, you know, that this gun works fine without a magazine extension with the factory follower, but if you add a magazine extension tube, you pretty much have to upgrade the follower. And there's a couple companies that make them, but I really like this MOA one. They have a few different colors you can get it in. So I got it in the blue to kind of match the black and blue combination on this gun. But made a huge difference when trying to dual load and quad load this rifle, or this shotgun. On the outside, one of the other upgrades, or maybe the only other upgrade on the outside of this gun, is a TACOM stage saver. They kind of all mount the same, and they kind of all work the same. You know, so you can, you know, some people might not agree with that, but this TACOM one's solid, and it's just a couple of screws. So you gotta take your handguard off, and you put drill a couple of holes in it, and then place the stage saver there. But I'll try and work this gun a little bit later in the video, and you can see that functions well despite my my lack of skill. So I'll kind of show you that later. But a stage saver is a good idea. It's always nice to have that one extra shell just in case at the end of your stage. So on the outside, that is the upgrades to this gun from stock. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut the video for now, and then I'll kind of open this up because there's a couple things in this gun that I changed internally as well. All right, so here's the action spring. So this action spring is upgraded. This is an MOA Precision action spring, and this is reduced tension. The stock spring has more spring tension, and this one is reduced. The reason you get the reduced spring, and this is a good competition upgrade, but not needed in this gun for any other purpose. The reason you get this reduced tension spring is to be able to shoot lighter loads. So in competition shooting and 3-gun, you want to be able to shoot fast and keep the gun flat. And in a shotgun, in say factory or practical or TAC ops or whatever, you know, division that, you know, in the competition you're shooting, where you can't have ported barrels, the only way to decrease the amount of jump in your shotgun is to shoot lighter loads. The Stoeger M3K, which is just the Stoeger M3000 series, recommends a 1 1/8 ounce load to cycle the inertia driven system. This spring under full tension is one of the things that limits that. So if you get a lighter tension spring, you can shoot a lighter load because the bolt cycles easier if this spring doesn't have as much tension. So this is upgraded. This is the MOA Precision enhanced action spring, which is essentially just reducing the tension of the spring. So that's an upgrade that I have on this gun. This gun reliably shoot with this upgrade, reliably shoots 1 ounce loads, and for the most part can shoot 7/8 ounce loads, which is about the lightest load you'd ever want to do. Most people don't want to go lighter than 1 ounce. 1 ounce is kind of the sweet spot for 3-gun. You know, my understanding, 1 1/8 isn't bad, but 1 ounce is kind of perfect. But some people want to shoot 7/8 ounce, and it depends on the type of matches that you shoot. If you're having to knock over a lot of plates from longer range, 7/8 might not be enough weight to knock those down, but 1 ounce is usually okay. But if you're shooting up close, mostly like most of my matches that I will potentially shoot with this gun, the 7/8 is even better. So this gun isn't quite to where I trust it to cycle 7/8 all the time, but it will cycle 1 ounce rounds very consistently with just this upgrade. Okay, and the last thing I want to show you real quick, the last upgrade that I have to this gun at this point is actually in the trigger group. What I have replaced is the 2 trigger springs with, I believe it's TTI brand, and again, I got it from MOA Precision. They have a spring kit from TTI, I do believe, that lightens your trigger pull. I won't go through the whole install, but pulling the trigger housing is pretty easy. There's 2 springs in here that you can replace to give you a lighter trigger pull, and they actually make it's not a huge difference. It's not a terrible trigger stock for the most part. It kind of smooths out after you break it in, but this gives you a little bit lighter trigger pull. So that's that. I'm going to reassemble the gun and we'll go through some of the action here. I just wanted to give you an idea of how much work I had done to this gun before I took it shooting the first time, so that you can kind of compare apples and oranges, what I have here in front of you to the stock shotgun. And so that's what it is. So to recap, it is a mag extension tube. Mine is 9+1 from MOA Precision with the MOA Precision low drag follower and magazine spring cut to the proper length, which is, I believe, 14 coils beyond the length of the extension tube as when it's attached to the gun. The high vis sight, front sight, and then so the magazine tube, the mag spring, low drag follower, and then the trigger springs that we just put the trigger housing back in from TTI, also purchased from MOA Precision, and then the MOA Precision enhanced action spring, so lighter tension action spring. And so then that makes this gun hold enough rounds, which is pretty much a mandatory upgrade for 3-gun. Have a little bit better trigger, which you could debate whether you need that or not, but the springs are relatively cheap, so I think it's kind of a no-brainer. A better sight, which is kind of important, although the factory sight is fully functional to get started. And then the lighter action spring to shoot lighter loads, which again, not 100% mandatory, but for the, whatever it is, $20-$25 or whatever it is for the action spring, that's a good cheap upgrade to have your gun cycle reliably under lighter loads. The other key piece to this gun for competition purpose is being able to reload quickly. And so I have not opened, what is missing here from an upgrades is just as important as what I have done is for upgrades, is that I have not further opened up the loading port from the factory. This is the factory cutout. It's what you see on the standard M3K and the M3K Freedom Edition. So I have not opened that up to improve dual and quad loading in this gun. Most people shooting in competition are going to open this up more than what this is here, but you can see in the picture that it has been, you know, the factory has opened this up over like their standard M3000. So you can quad load with this without too much practice. Would this quad load much easier with further opening of this port? Yes. Will I eventually do that? 100%. But I can, you know, I can quad load with this right out of the box from the factory. And I'm not saying I'm fast, but I can do it. And with a little more practice, I think I can be pretty serviceable with my loads. I'll get a little bit of video of that as well, so you can just see that. But so you can, when you see me handling this gun, I have not opened up that port.